morning or good afternoon when this video reaches you from Yummy B TV. Wishing you all well today, sending loads of love as usual. Where do we start? Last night's documentary. Lainey, well done, for reminding me, and it brought back some memories for me of the old days of how he used to be treated, because though that look of that jail is the most realistic for what the Cat-A setup looks like. We start with the mixture of non-sex offenders. So we know that there's 80% wrong-uns, nonces. We know now what nonces means, where it comes from. Because why? We done a video the other day. Uncle Yami told you the most intelligent prisoner he ever met was Razor Smith. Razor Smith was the one talking last night, who broke it down brilliantly, by the way. Right? Because that's where it comes from. It comes from there, way back in the day. So the mixture of you having to be being thrown out the other four category A's and all the places, and the last place, the last stop for your bad behaviour as you go Wakefield, and mixing with all the dirt and the beast and the smell and the stench and the pale looks on their faces and think about it. We'll start first with Charlie. All right, we start first with Charlie. How unfair it looks. You know, when you really look at it for what it really is, fighting, with hostages, whatever way you look at it. Maudsley, we'll get to in a minute, for not killing anyone. Come on. Come on, 46. You've got to. He's out, he's gonna get out. He's got to. But let me explain it. That screw that was on last night, the one that said that he was playing the games with Bamba, those questions, those are the mind games. What's your name, mate? Yeah, you already know his name. But you want to hear what he says. How does he think about it? We know Bamba's got a big head. Razor described that brilliantly as well. How I rate Razor. Speaking it as it really is. Definitely 100%. I'll get to that bit in a minute as well. So they look at you. How many times along the years? Yeah, me, look at you. Yummy. Don't think that because you had that, like that there, that this is going to be tolerated here. Do you hear me? But I used to know what it meant. So I'll just keep it straight-faced. Don't answer. Bamba's head's too big. I'm going to answer. I'm doing a five life. Like that means anything. Because if you're innocent, the first thing you're going to say is, I'm innocent of my crimes, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to boast and try and put your status up high by saying, yeah, I'm doing 5 lives. And what? Like I'm some kind of bad man. You ain't no kind of bad man. You're one of the weakest men in the system because you can't mix it with the proper lot. You have to be around others. You have to be around the nonces because of what you allegedly done. And my view on that is the same as Razor's. I'm afraid. And I got to be honest. You're a wicked, evil man. Manipulative. Don't have much to do in there but look through the paperwork and find ways and hows and means. You got hours and hours and hours to look at it the same way that it was described last night. Beautiful. When they convicted Winston Silcock of the Tottenham riots, it was obvious Winston didn't do it. All he did was he had to study his case after case after case. But we know for definite he didn't do it because he wasn't there. Do you see what I mean? So we know that that was a miscarriage of justice. Talking that a man's coming on there, Aaron, what's his name? And he's saying, yeah, but I believe that he's innocent. Don't make me laugh. Make me laugh, Uncle Yami. You're going to make me laugh to what I know, what I've seen, what I've read over them years. But poor Charlie, man. Come on. Come on, my boy. The screw looks at him and says, yeah, why don't you make something of yourself? Why don't you start creating arts? Why don't you start doing and turning over a new leaf and blah, blah, blah. How many times I heard that one over these? Why don't you try and Charlie would look at him with those eyes and he knows. He's playing him, he's trying to use a different form of what he's used to getting from the screws. He's coming with the good cop, bad cop. But the screws are a serious screw, you can see. He's not on no plane. These are what the old ones were like. The army fired ones that were there. And they know the tricks of the trade. The same way that I would know, or Charlie would know what's coming next. What they mean when they're trying certain things. But to leave him like that, and then to hear the sad story of Maudsley. Did we know even that Maudsley got attacked when he was a small boy, kidnapped by paedophiles? And what they did to him, and for the rest of his days. And he gave himself up to the police to tell them what he did, and got convicted. And said, yeah, don't worry, any one of you lot I see, I'm going to kill you. So you know that whatever took place during that childhood has messed him up forever and ever. And I believe it. Sorry, 1 second. Slurper. I believe it. I believe that's what's happened. His hatred for sex offenders goes beyond belief. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Yeah. So a lot of men, for different reasons, are affected by what happened in their childhood. We know this. We know there's a lot of men out there now that haven't even come forward yet to say what happened to them. How you could be desensitized. How you could be not understanding what it's like to make somebody else your victim after what's happened to you when you were a victim. You see what I mean? How could you not know then that they're going to feel the same pain that you felt? The same thing that I think now, why I walked away and understand that not me. I'm not causing somebody else. I'm not doing no harm to anybody for nothing like that. I don't want to be the cause of that no more, not me. But it's time for Charlie to be released, right? It's time. So he's going to go to a court, not the parole board, where you can just sit there and everybody just has a whisper in your ear behind the scenes. Yeah, he's coming in a minute. Yeah, you sit there. Yeah, do. Just like a little boss, like a little three-man laid bench, and you sit there on your own. Probation talks at risk. And But like he says, you're at risk in there. You're not risk to the public. Charlie's not one of those who's going to come out here and fight with normal human beings. That's not what the risk is. So you got to give him that last chance. But they've got long memories. Like with the craze, like with the things, like with the last living, when you're in your last legs, like they did with Michael McCann's dad, Squeaky. All the things that happen over the years with him, they leave it right to the end to let you out. Go on then, it's nearly all over now. We'll give you, because what you've done and the problems that you might have allegedly been involved with over the years will get you back by keeping you in for the rest of your days. And they'll do it. Because you were such a problem. And that's what they want to do to Charlie. But are they going to get away with it? Let's wait and see. So then you get to Robert Maudsley. Doesn't come out, doesn't see no one. Tells you categorically, yeah, don't. Imagine a man, he says, yeah, he's not in there for protecting, he's in there for to protect the inmates. Locked away on his own, but yeah, he's ordinary. He's writing to his son, his nephew, his little grandson or something, and having decent talks with him. So he does know what day it is. His mental health. He's not in a nut house, is he? So he's in touch with reality. It's when faced with those kind of things, those hurtful things from the past, that he becomes a demon, so to speak. But that screw makes me laugh, because he's just there. He's just there to play those games. And Bamba, you turn up because you are disliked everywhere. It's fair to say there's many times that you've been attacked The best way of describing it is the way that everyone, I told you months ago that he just so thinks he's high above everybody else and cleverer than everybody else, that you honestly think that you're gonna win your appeal and they're gonna let you out when nobody else is. There's nobody else in the frame. Nobody else. There's no reason for anybody else to have wiped out the whole family for any reason but for what happens if they don't live. You see what I mean? If you get what I mean. Allegedly. But the mixture and the constant attack that they're under, the sex offenders, that some man that will be ordinary, normal convicts will have to go to Wakefield, and some of them mix with a beast and even talk to them. Even talking to, what were they talking about? Talking about Brady, and some man would see to, how can you talk to him? How can you be seen with him? But there's also men that are going to be in there. Every single day, one of them will be attacked. And like the great Razor says, the pecking order. The pecking order of, well, I'm only a robber, I'm only a drummer, I'm only a this and that, and I'm only an armed robber, but you're the lowest, but you're a rapist, but you're a paedophile. You go down to the lowest. But we're all scumbags. Got to be honest, because somebody had to pay dearly for what we did. They're the lowest of the lowest because they, to put it blatantly, you've taken away child's innocence by dictating what they're going to feel and think for the rest of their lives, because at the hands of you, being taught by you and your dirty, filthy hands. And a rapist, you're a coward because you're raping somebody that can't really fight back. You're going to get the upper hand because she's a lady and she can't get out the struggle, and it's an easy win for you and for your selfish desires. So you become the scourge too, because you are what it says as well. So you come close to the bottom of the line as well. Let's have it straight. So there is a pecking order. But like Razor, I got fed up with saying that this one's this, that one's that, get involved, can we go in there, I'll do this and do that. Because you remember the story about Victor Willoughby, he got convicted of 30 odd rapes. The story from Wayland, way back in the day. He comes out one morning and he says, there's 5 of them, you know, and in their little gang, and at them time there, I think it was me, Louis Shepherd, Dwayne Daniels, Gary Lawrence, Bemmy, and everybody was there. Wayland, Colonel Boogie, Boomy, my man, the tall one from Brixton. What's his name again? Floppy was there. Lammy, yeah. There he was there. Fleego and Little Preddy. Everybody was there at the same time. Patrick Bunting, Peter Dallip, Donald McKenzie, David Downs. Everybody was there around about that time there, right? He comes out in the morning and he says, yeah, this man's a rapist, you know. I've seen it in black and white. So they bring out the man on the landing. 5 of them crashed. These are razors for bottles, mash, bars, crash, ketchup bottles, stabbed to pieces. I'm innocent, it's not me, I didn't do nothing. Victor Willoughby. But then, yeah, we done a dance. Yeah, we taking on this thing. Yeah, you're giving yourself this pride, but secretly, you're one too. Because then you come out and you prove that that was a smokescreen to hide what you feel about yourself when you lie in bed at night, when you're fantasizing about your disgusting of your crimes, what you're thinking about doing when you're released. So you're angry in yourself that you're like that. So you'll take it out on someone. I'm not like, but I'll take it out on them then, to make it look like that I'm not really like that. That's you running from yourself. Uncle Yami says. You see what I mean? That was the fun. That was the fun. And there's many cool names, and many call the names of all kinds, wrong uns, this and that. And you find that they always have something to hide. Do you see what I mean? It's a known fact. But like how Razor Smith says, rightly so, You don't in the end. You think, I ain't getting involved. Who am I to prove that you was wrong or you wasn't or you didn't or you didn't? All I know is I would know a sex offender, 100%. I would know, definitely 100%. I would know, but the rest of it all, rapist or whatever, go and do him, go and do that. No one cares anymore. The system's changed that much that you go and do that now, they'll be on the wing. Everybody won't even notice that you're gone. They're so wrapped up in all their own beefs fighting each other. They're not going to say, he's a wrong and he's a rapist, he's in for this, he's in for that. Let's all take that on. This new lot, they're not into all that. They couldn't give two monkeys. They care about what's happening with their gangs and what they're doing and they don't live by the old rules. In the old days, the screws used to walk past with the files. Like, imagine you got them walking with their files to the office with the new receptions. And then I witnessed this in Belmarsh, and I witnessed in this couple of Cat A's as well, where they got the files and you walk in and you go like that. They drop a couple of inmates around the doorway and they drop a couple of files on the floor. Whoops. Ooh. And then you pick it up and when you look at the file, it says sex offender, rape. But really, they dropped it on purpose so that you could see the file, so that they wanted that man to get done. You see what I'm saying? So all them tricks of the trade, they'd be doing it from creation. Drop the file, you pick it up. Oh yeah, I miss. A quick look at it, see, oh, which one? Who, him? All right, got ya. So she's marking your card, letting you know that he is proper wrong. Rightly so. Rightly so. Despicable crimes, but oh God. I don't know what it was. You know, in the end, though, all I know is I know the smell. I know that looking at that Wakefield, my God, you know what I mean. You got, you got to go through the tunnel where everybody, because I've had loads of my mates who've been down there and little arguments developed down in by the windows down there. Like it's really quiet. You go to reach the end of the cages, where you're segregated from everyone, where you're isolated. Imagine you got Charlie and Robert Moulton, they have to watch the telly through their own thing, but it's in a different room, not in their own room. Madness, isn't it? You see what I mean? But how then? If you live such a way for so long in such conditions, we heard some men saying, you know, 40 years and come out. How for so long then? How are you going to live that way for so long and ever be normal again? Answer me that. I struggled for 2 years on going in and out, short periods out, long periods in. You see what I mean? And I struggled bad. I can't see how mentally, and from what I've seen out here, like I talk to you a lot about regularly, the struggles are daily, and you can't mentally get used to doing things in a normal way, having spent 25, 30, 40 years doing it in such a way, because you can be in a relationship and not even know the person's there, went through it. You sit there, you don't say nothing. You know what I mean? But it's bad. It's kind of hurtful for the person. You know what I mean? Not to suffer that. You know, now I know different now because I've been out longer now. I understand that it's a two-way thing, and if you're only be with someone, if you want to, you know, you participate and play your part in it. You see what I mean? It's not about like disappearing into your own world because you're so used to being banged up and on edge all the time. Like deep Wakefield. Was there? What was that other bit? Yeah, we covered it. We covered it. But that's that for today. But there, I told you. Didn't I tell you? Razor Smith, Bamba. See what I'm saying? And then you think about the Sarah Payne case. Look how things changed for that at Whiting, and how families were ruined over that. She never ever recovered. Do you see what I mean? And this is the hurt that is left for those, sadly, that have to suffer at the hands of men like that. You know, because some crimes you can get over, but fear would always be there, obviously, even if you've been burgled and robbed and whatever. But losing your member You know, we talked about it the other day. You asked me, big man, you said, Yami, you'll let the beast out of the cage if somebody touched anything. I have to say, I have to be honest, my heart, if it was one of my angels even, if it was Marina, if it was Lisa, if it was, my other ones, some of them I'm close to, like, I'd feel to be hurt. But my grandson and my son and granddaughters and things like that, think about the pain you feel. What? You're gonna lie there and think you're gonna be mad. But you're right. Some of you, you've got to take it when it comes. But it's much easier said than done. Until you're in that position, you don't know what you're gonna do. But I'll be up later on, sending loads of love. And I hope you understand what I mean today. Loads of love.